Hello, my name is Claire, and I'm going to discuss the interview I conducted today about nutritional genomics and speak a little bit further about the topic. So to review the interview, I spoke with someone who really had no background information of the topic. They're educated on nutrition, but not necessarily on the genomics part. So after asking that first initial question to determine that, I did provide some education. I referenced one of the articles from Mullins et al. In our reading from this week and tried to really explain how our genes can be influenced due to potential environmental factors and nutrients. One of the questions was, how do you see nutritional genomics as relevant to your health and nutrition? And this is where it kind of really took a health perspective of weight management, I thought. They were considering the tests shown in the video as really a way to help them make more nutritional choices, really revolving around weight loss. So they were thinking that this could be a tool to help them choose wiser in their food meals every day. So the concerns they had really was about the qualifications of the lab in the video and the people talking. They wanted to make sure this was a legit um, doctor or physician speaking, that this was a legit company taking these DNA samples and coming back with actual results. So that was their main concern there. We're also concerned about who their information would be shared with and what measures are being taken to safekeep that. I said that this would definitely be something I would look further into to see what precautions that specific company were taking to safeguard that. If they were to find out from this treatment or from this test that they were at risk for a disease or have a disease and there was no effective treatment for it, what would they do? They said it makes them not want to know. They're not sure if they really wanted to know and live a certain way based on knowing that. Um, they would definitely seek a second opinion if they did find out information like that, and not just rely on a test such as this to give them that result. When I asked them if they'd be willing to completely change their diet in order to improve their health, they said, of course, why wouldn't I? This is just one simple thing I can do in order to do that. Um, and it's funny because I liked his answer there, but in that response, knowing this person personally, I don't think he would actually take these steps to change his diet. I know his typical eating patterns and behaviors, and there is room for improvement right now, and that is not being done. So I'm not sure that um, this test would really push him in that direction. Maybe it's more scientific proof that he needs in order to make the change. I'm not sure, or the motivation he needs to make the change. That would be my hope, but I will remain optimistic about that. So looking more into after assessing this interview, I am in agreement with his concerns in regards of this particular company that was shown in the video about safekeeping his information. I think that's a valid concern if you were to engage in a test like this and send away your results. He said he was more likely to participate if it was something he could do at his local physician's office or something like that, or something he could do at home, which I totally understand. People can be private. I think based on how this interview went, I feel perceptions of nutrition genomics is really based on more nutri-genetics versus nutri-genomics. In other words, I really think that people believe nutritional genomics is based upon how one's genes affects the food they eat. So, am am I compatible with this specific food or this specific nutrient based on the makeup of my body, versus the idea that nutrients can really affect our genes. So the opposite idea of that. As someone with an autoimmune condition, I have been told before that the environmental factors could have exposed me for, like it mentioned in our lecture this week, for the gene to just turn on and come out of a dormant state. So now really reading this makes me question, was it a nutrient I was exposed to that changed this gene to turn it on or to mutate them and impact my health status? So with saying that, I really do think um, something like this testing would be important or beneficial for someone who is at risk for a potential disease, who has a history of a disease, maybe in their family, and wants to make sure that they're taking the steps they need to prevent this, and really understand how their body reacts to certain nutrients that are exposed to them. That is my synopsis of my interview. Thank you.